session, there is nothing to disclose. So with that, we will adjourn the special meeting at 6:06 p.m. And that will take us to our regular meeting. I would like to call to order the Elk Grove City Council regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, January the 14th, 2026. The time is 6:06 p.m. Happy New Year, everyone. Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. This meeting of the Elk Grove City Council is recorded with closed captioning. The recording will be cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV Uverse cable systems. The recording will also be video streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Tonight's meeting replays will be on Friday, January 16th at 1 p.m. and Sunday, January 18th at 6 p.m. on Metro Channel 14. Once posted, the recordings of this and previous meetings can be viewed on demand at the 3ws.elkgrove.gov or youtube.com/metrocable14. For members of the participating audience who may have personal electronic devices, please place them on silent mode during the meeting or on mute when you are not speaking. The Elk Grove City Council welcomes, appreciates, and encourages participation in the City Council meeting. The City Council requests that you limit your presentation to 3 minutes per person so that all present will have time to participate. City Council reserves the right to reasonably limit the total time for public comment on any particular noticed agenda item as it may deem necessary. Pursuant to Resolution Number 2010-24, no individual speaker concerning public comment may address the City Council for more than 3 minutes. If you wish to address the Council during the meeting, please complete a blue speaker card, which can be found at the back of the chamber, and provide it to Assistant City Clerk Brenda Haggard prior to consideration of the agenda item. With that, Mayor, I'll be moving into the roll call. And to start off our roll call in the new year, I will call out to Councilmember Robles. Present. Councilmember Spies.
Present.
Councilmember Brewer.
Present.
Vice Mayor Suen.
Here.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Here. Next up is our land acknowledgement. Assisting will be Vice Mayor Suen.
Thank you, Mayor. We honor, respect, and acknowledge Elk Grove's first inhabitants, the Plains Miwok, who lived as sovereign caretakers of this land and these waterways since time immemorial. We commemorate and advocate for their descendants, the Wilton Rancheria tribe, the only federally recognized tribe in Sacramento County, who endure because of the bravery, resiliency, and determination of their ancestors, tribal members, and leaders.
Thank you. Next up is our Pledge of Allegiance. I would like to invite our, we'll invite Mr. Darrell Down this evening to lead us.
Hand over heart, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, please join us for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. All right, next up is our approval of the agenda. May I get a motion, please?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Under Section 3, there are no closed session agenda items on the regular agenda, which will advance us to Section 4, our presentations and announcements, and that one item being item 4.1, the Youth Commission semi-annual update.
All right, let's welcome our youth commissioners.
It's always the best part. It's always so good.
Hi, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I'm Gabrielle Flynn, and I'm honored to be a co-advisor with Dr. Femi Omotesho for the Youth Commission. We've got 4 returning members and 6 new members that have started their service with us this year. They're going to introduce themselves and then give you your semi-annual report.
Hello, my name is Abbas Chaudhry. I serve as chair, and I'm a senior at Cosumnes Oaks.
Hello, my name is Andres Guzman. I serve as a historian, and I'm a senior at Laguna Creek High School.
Hi, I'm Omri Nelson. I'm a member on the commission, and I go to Elk Grove High.
Hello, my name is Mara Akbo. I serve as secretary, and I am a freshman at Sheldon High School.
Hello, my name is Princeton Mingo. I am a sophomore and I'm just a youth commissioner.
Hello, my name is Zara Chaudhary. I am a commissioner, and I'm a freshman at CO.
Good evening. My name is Kara Hughes. I'm your vice chair, and I'm a senior at Pleasant Grove.
Hello, I am Carly Clark. I am the liaison for the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and I am a middle schooler in Elk Grove Charter Academy. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Clea Condon, and this year I'm serving as your communications officer, and I'm a junior at Casitas Oaks.
Good evening. My name is Ethan Feng. I am a commissioner, and I am a junior at Franklin High School.
Okay. To start off for this year on the Youth Commission, our goal is to focus on practical, hands-on activities that empower Elk Grove youth and support their growth and leadership.
On August 9th, 2025, we had a youth commission retreat where we did icebreakers. We went over the code of ethics, the duties as a commissioner. We had a chat with the city manager, and we went over the Brown Act training.
On Saturday, October 11, 2025, last year, we had our annual Path to Positivity event in the form of a mental wellness walk at Hilma Colton Park. We used this as an opportunity to meet and connect with friends and family. We walked, and as we walked, we tied green ribbons around the trees, symbolizing mental health and spreading awareness of the struggles and the significance of mental health. And at the park itself, we had resources provided by EJSD Safe and Therapy Animals.
For advocacy, another area of priority for us this year is youth employment, and you will hear more about that in the future. Thank you.
We have an event coming up. Our Future Forward, a college and career readiness event, will be held on February 21st of this year. We are partnering with the Sacramento Credit Union to give our youth a better push after high school into their futures, whether that be going to college or the workforce. So we will have many opportunities for those that sign up. There will be financial literacy, college and scholarship application process preparation, career readiness, and volunteerism. We'll have many people tabling, and we'll offer free professional headshots and resume building. We have a max capacity of about 100 participants, and we are about halfway full, so we do extend the promotion to the council and their constituents to promote it.
Though its date is to be determined, we do have a day of service where we plan to be volunteering at the city's shelter for the unhoused. We will be working with the navigator to identify where our hands-on help is needed most.
On April 19th, 2026, we have Family Fun Day. And this day, we plan to bring together the community for a day of fun and overall relaxation. The day will include food, games, and entertainment for all ages so we can foster a welcoming and inclusive environment for the entire community.
During the first 2 weeks of the month of May, we will be hosting a food drive. Donations are highly encouraged, and drop-offs can be located at the City Hall, Animal Shelter, and the District 56 Community Center.
One of our goals this year was to increase our outreach, and as communications officer with the rest of the commission, we've been working with the city's social media expert to make some changes to our Instagram page, and we have increased content and posted about upcoming meetings and just events so we can reach everyone online, as that's how our age range is most available to see our events.
Thank you guys so much for taking your time tonight. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you for your excellent report. Any comments, looking here on the left, any comments or questions? Yes, Councilmember Brewer.
So yeah, no, I want to thank you all for coming tonight and providing us with this update. I've seen you at a lot of different events throughout the year, and I love how the activity and the spirit that you are doing and taking on with the job, and very pleased to see you guys out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Also, this is our Instagram, so please follow it. Thank you guys.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. First question, Andres. Why is it Instagram? What happened to TikTok? I thought you guys are on TikTok.
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess it just kind of switches every couple times. Be on as much as you can.
I'm teasing. Well, maybe it's something else for the commission to talk about. No, in all seriousness, though, very inspiring. All the activities you guys have put together from mental health, college, career fairs. I really think you have a pulse on the youth in this community, which is the whole purpose, right? You are our link to the youth and throughout the city. You represent the city, but you also represent your generation. And so it's great to see all of you involved and engaged in doing these wonderful things out there. I want to thank also Gabrielle and Femi for your work and guidance with all these young men and women. So we can't wait to see what you guys do this year, and looking forward to what you all do next, because I know there's a few seniors. I think you're one of them, Mr. Guzman, right?
Yeah.
How many seniors do I have? I think I saw three. Oh, three, okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone on my right here? Yep, go ahead, Councilmember Robles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to say you guys are doing an amazing job. I'm looking forward to seeing what next month looks like for the 21st for y'all. Doing headshots, working on resumes. This is like doing some good stuff, and this is exactly what you guys are doing. You guys should be very proud. I know college students and interns who don't even do that, and you guys are already ahead of them. So that just shows how bright you guys are. I know that the mayor and I just got an email from one of the Congress members around the area on doing like a national day of play, right? So put down your cell phone, and I think you already do that. And I'll be forwarding it to you guys, perhaps even bringing, creating a little resolution for youth to do a day of play here in Elk Grove and do something. And just looking forward to seeing what you guys are doing. So keep up the good work, and thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick, as I saw about Future Forward, something that I thought to make sure that you invite the Elk Grove Regional Scholarship Foundation. Okay, that way, because there's a lot of opportunity. We're always wondering why we're not getting the applications that we need to have. So if you'd invite them, if you need the contact information, Dr. Femi, I will let you know. You got it? Oh, they're already coming? Oh, okay. You could have shut me up 3 minutes ago then. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you all for the great work that you're doing. I welcome our new commissioners. This is going to be time well spent. You will learn a lot, and you will have a direct impact in your city from your perspective as youth. And so this is an important commission. It's important work that you will be doing in the course of the next year, and hopefully for those of you who aren't graduating, you continue on. I think you'll find it very rewarding. The future, when I look at all of you, I know that the future is bright because you all step up and serve. You could be doing a number of other things, but you're choosing to volunteer and give back to your city. So thank you for your service at such a young age. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, next up is public comment. I will go ahead and open up the public comment opportunity. We have 2 speakers signed up. First is Rodney Green, followed by Lynn Wheat. Rodney? Hello, sir.
Hi, how you doing?
Good to see you again. And just as a reminder, you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Rodney Green, and I'm a founding board member of Big Mike's Bottom Line. Big Mike's Bottom Line was named after a friend of mine who passed away from colorectal cancer in 2021. In our organization, we are a grassroots nonprofit organization basically trying to educate people regarding colorectal cancer, CRC for short. So please help us alleviate the stigma around discussing your bowel movements and help us communicate with conviction that CRC is preventable and highly treatable if it's caught early enough. I'm not sure how many of you guys have had anybody affected by CRC. I recently had a cousin in Texas who just passed away this past weekend from complications from CRC. So it's affected me not only with my best friend, but also within my family itself. We are wanting to make the month of blue, the month of March as blue as the month of October is pink. And we need your help just basically educating people in our local community about colorectal cancer. I have already handed a proclamation or a resolution off to the mayor regarding having Elk Grove celebrate the month of March in blue and doing different things like turning lights on in buildings blue at night or in the evenings. Doing things like just a bunch of different things. I have some stuff back here I can pass out to you guys also. But I wanted to hand you guys some things about colorectal cancer, if that's okay. Can I just hand these out? Okay. But again, we just need the city's help to educate the community about colorectal cancer. There's a lot of information on our website, bigmikesbottomline.org. So if you guys want to go there and check out some of the information that's there, there's a lot of information about colorectal cancer. We're willing to give you guys stickers. There's stickers on the little pamphlets that are going around that we are willing to provide the city of Elk Grove if they're willing to put them in the bathroom stalls in the bathrooms, in public bathrooms. And they're just information about the symptoms from colorectal cancer, stats about colorectal cancer. It is the number one, actually it's the number 2 killer of men as far as cancer goes, and it's the number 2 killer of women also over 50 as far as cancer goes. From ages 20 to 45, that's who we're really targeting because those are the ones who are coming up. And they're going to be really affected. It's going to be the number 1 killer of that age group coming up with cancer coming by the year of 2030. So we really want to jump on top of this and just educate people about colorectal cancer. And we just need your help just making the month of March blue.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
We have your information that I received from you earlier. It's been shared with the city clerk, so I will get back to you this week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your advocacy.
All right, next up is Lynn Weed, and that will be our final speaker.
Good evening. Let me begin by wishing you all a happy new year. Our city offers many opportunities. We have the Martin Luther King Community Breakfast coming up, along with the March for the Dream, which is about equity and justice and remembering Martin Luther King and the wonderful work that he did. We also have the Star of Service Volunteer Awards, which is really exciting because we have so many in our community that volunteer their time to work on making Elk Grove the best city. And I just appreciate all those volunteers that we do have within our city that are doing those things. And we have a lot of nonprofits within our city that can apply for the city grants that are coming available. Lastly, I want to talk about something that's been close and dear to my heart for a very long time, which is addressing the needs of our homeless community. And I want to thank staff for really working very diligently on getting the word out about our new shelter and putting it into our newsletter front and center. Our shelter is working. I know that because I volunteer there, and I know that it is helping those in our community that want to step up to the plate, make some changes, and progress in a very positive way within our community. And these are residents. They were residents in our community that were housed, that lost their housing for one reason or another, and I'm not here to judge all of that, and I'd like us all not to judge that because we could be them too. By the grace of God, there go I. So I'm asking, as it comes up, 4 meetings at the end of the month, and what I've seen on Facebook and all of the other social media sites, a lot of negativity that really hurts my heart because I believed that we are a compassionate city and that we are a city for all, a welcoming city for all. And what I really don't want to do is see that we're only welcoming as long as it doesn't affect our home property values or the fear-based thinking we have around this population that would be living in our permanent shelter. I'd like us to have a different attitude about that, and I know the 5 of you are going to have a very difficult decision. I was talking to somebody, and they said, well, let me play the devil's advocate. And I said, well, the night that it goes to hearing, when that site is selected, you can bet the devil's going to be in the room. And I'd like us to all be open, and I'd like you, as our leaders within our community, to try to talk to people about this and morally and ethically think, where's the best place? Do I want to be located in a location where there are absolutely no services, or do I want to be 1.5 miles from a store, or 1 mile from a store, 2 blocks from where I'm going to receive my mental health services? Do I want to try to depend upon our transportation that doesn't exist?
Thank you, ma'am.
Please think about those things. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that concludes public comment. We will now go to our city manager's report.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council. Jason Behrman, your city manager. Several items to report on this evening. First of all, follow up to the comment about our homeless shelter community meetings coming up. As you know, we announced on January 7th 3 potential locations for the permanent shelter. We're going to have some community discussions and dialogue coming up on January 21st, January 27th at District 56, 3 to 4:45 and 6 to 7:45. Each session will have the exact same content, so you don't need to go to all of them, but you're invited to go to anyone, whichever time, day works best for your schedule. We'd encourage people to come out. We really want to hear from our community about their concerns, their questions, and get those questions answered. We also have a very robust website where we answer a lot of questions. There's frequently asked questions, there's myth busters, there's a lot of information about the 3 sites that are there. So we really want to make sure that our community has all the information about what this project is and the good that it will do in addressing homelessness within our community. And then all that feedback, as well as an online survey, will be collected, and then we'll be presenting that to the City Council on February 11th, where you'll be asked to kind of prioritize those three sites for a future shelter. Let's see, experience the best of Elk Grove's culinary scene during Restaurant Week, which is going on right now, presented by Explore Elk Grove and presenting sponsor Sky River Casino. Use a free mobile pass to check in at participating restaurants and enjoy exclusive signature dishes, special discounts, and promotions through January 18th. Restaurant Week also gives back to the community. Each check-in and redemption will generate a monetary donation to the Elk Grove Food Bank. Additional donation bins sponsored by Invest Elk Grove and the City of Elk Grove will be available citywide for contributions through the end of the week. For a list of drop-off locations or to sign up for the mobile pass, go to elkgroverestaurantweek.com. This Saturday is the MLK breakfast hosted by the city, by Councilmember Rod Brewer, and the National Action Network. So it's this Saturday, January 17th at District 56. Guests will reflect on Dr. King's enduring message of equality and justice and experience powerful guest speakers, entertainment, and an inspiring atmosphere that honors Dr. King's dream. Tickets are limited. Follow the links from the city's social media pages to purchase your tickets online through Eventbrite. And then following that, on Monday, on actual Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we will be participating in the Regional March for the Dream. March will begin at Sacramento City College, located at 3835 Freeport Boulevard, departing from the west parking lot, and then it'll conclude at the Convention Center. The program will begin at 8:30. March will start at 9:15, so invite all of our community to show up. Staff, council, we're also partnering with the CSD, so we're going to have special city CSD scarves that we've had in the past. So if you don't have yours, please let us know. We're happy to get them for you. We also will have some available that day. So if you're available to come join us, we'd love to have you. Let's see, applications are now being accepted for 2 civic academies that the city sponsors. Both Elk Grove 101 and our Police Academy are kicking off here shortly. So signups are underway. You can visit our website. The Citizens Academy is an 11-week program hosted Tuesday nights beginning on February 4th. And then our spring cohort of Elk Grove 101 is a 9-session course, and it'll be in the mornings, Tuesday mornings at District 56 beginning on March 24th. So both wonderful programs, great success. So if you had no friends, family that haven't done it yet, please encourage them to sign up. We also have our nominations for 2026 Stars of Service Award. It's going to open this Monday, January 19th. If you know an individual or organization making Elk Grove a better place to live, work, or play, recognize the volunteer efforts by submitting a nomination online on the city's website before February 25th. Award recipients will be recognized at the council meeting in April. The online application period is now open for the city's 3 grant programs supporting local nonprofit organizations for FY 26-27. Learn more about funding opportunities through the Community Development Block Grant Program, our Community Service Grant Program, and our Event Sponsorship Program. Technical Assistance Webinar will be held next Tuesday, January 20th from 12:30 to 2:30. The meeting will be recorded and added to the city's website for those who may not be able to attend. Deadlines for each application do vary, but all dates are in February. So go to the website and get the download of when those are due and make sure you don't miss that opportunity. I'll reach out to our staff if you have any questions. And then finally, in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the City Hall will be closed next Monday. Animal services and special waste collection will also be closed. Waste collection and public safety services will operate as usual. And that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions the council might have.
Thank you for your report. Any questions from my colleagues? Looking to the right, seeing none. Looking to the left, seeing none. Thank you. All right, we will go on to our next item. Let's see, we've got consent calendar. And at this time, I will go ahead and open up the public comment opportunity. We have a few folks signed up to speak. We will start, let's see, Linda Moncrief on item 7.13.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm one of the homeowners that is involved in the petition for parking permit across from Pleasant Grove High School and Albiani, and the need for these permits. We've been homeowners there, my husband and I, for some time now, and we have never had an issue with student parking. Usually it would be in the evening times when they have after-school activities. However, in the last year, it started. Unbelievable parking. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was unsafe. There was, kids being kids, with cars. What could happen? Last year, we dealt with it. It was all new for everybody in the neighborhood. Everybody had to deal with it. But then it got to be extremely unsafe. And we decided over the summer, one of my neighbors decided to start a petition and see if we could get something taken care of with this. This year rolls around, still the same unsafe issues. We have students that have no regard for property. They throw their trash everywhere. It consists of vape pens, condoms, joints. They hang out in the morning. They come in at about 7:50 in the morning, loud music. My husband works nights, comes home, he's ready to go to bed. He's not trying to hear all this. Coming home to trash in your yard, coming home to opening my windows to students parking on the wrong side of the street in the wrong direction. That I'd had it at that point, and I called the non-emergency number. And I didn't figure anybody would come out. I just wanted to let them know what's going on. And I'll be doggone if they didn't come out about 20 minutes later, and this gentleman had a ticket waiting for him when he got out of class. Now, we don't want to go so far as getting these cars towed, which in some instances we can. They park with half their butt out on the curves, or they cover the curves so the elderly that live in the neighborhood cannot use their wheelchairs to get down off the sidewalk to cross the street. That's very unsafe. The postman has to park in the middle of the street because students park in front of the mailbox. There was a time back when I was growing up, you couldn't park in front of a mailbox. The postman has to be able to safely be able to do his thing. So we're just kind of tired of it. And we had no other alternative but to come to you all and present our case And hopefully you understand, and there could be a lot of things, oh, you know, why did you buy a home across the street from the school? Well,
Ma'am, yep.
got it.
There's that time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we got the gist of it. All right, the next speaker is Ginger Kush on item 7.13 as well.
Hi there. So I'd like to start by acknowledging how frustrating it must be for people having students park in front of your house and clogging up your neighborhood every day. I get it. I'm a parent of 2 kids at Pleasant Grove High School, and prior to them driving, I used to park in that neighborhood after school to pick my kids up because it takes 40 minutes to get through the car line at the high school or the junior high. The problem is that Pleasant Grove doesn't have enough parking for their students. They have about 2,500 students and only 400 or 500 parking spots. And I would estimate around 1,200 kids have their driver's license. I have emailed the school about this multiple times. I think that the problem started getting worse when the high school started assigning parking spots to the students. And they've numbered all the spots now. And it's a lottery system if you get a parking spot. And they only offer it to juniors and seniors, and it's random. So Pleasant Grove and Albione are the only schools in the Elk Grove district that have students that come in from outside the school neighborhood. Kids come from Rancho Marietta, Anatolia, Wilton, and Sacramento. Those kids can't walk to school, but the kids that live in the neighborhood of the school could walk to school. But the school does not differentiate when they do their lottery for parking tickets. So my kids drive from Wilton, they drive 20 to 25 minutes to get to the school, have to find parking in the neighborhood someplace where it's not gonna get them a parking ticket, and then they have to walk 10 minutes to the school, lugging their backpacks and all their sports equipments. It's not their choice. The school's been there for 20 years and it's not going away. I think that the city should work with the school to come up with a solution, like build another parking lot, build a parking garage. The city could open up street parking on Stonebrook or other places where parking's not allowed, but there's no houses right there. I totally understand the neighbors being upset. Kids are idiots. I get it. I do. But I think that the solution should be worked with the school and don't make the problem go from this neighborhood to the neighborhood next door. Because if you start having permits in one neighborhood, the kids are just going to have to park in a different neighborhood across the street from the school. There's no other place to park. So I don't know what the solution is, but I would like to be a part of the solution and not part of the problem. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your comment. Next up is Onkar Judge for the same item, 7.13.
Thank you, everyone, for taking time to hear our concerns. As some of the other folks have said, you know, the schools existed for about 21 years, so as a neighborhood, a number of us have lived there for 10 plus years. In our entire neighborhood, we had 90% turnout for signing this petition, and majority of the folks signed the petition because, one, we have significant amount of trash. It's not just limited to, you know, protein shakes and sandwiches. It's also involves kids drinking alcohol there, smoking, used condoms, and, you know, that's not what we're trying to expose our small children to. In addition to that, the traffic has now caused our street to become a parking lot. Not only is there illegal parking, we can't get services. For example, the UPS guy can't park anywhere. We can't get a plumber to come there because there's no place for them to park. Our trash pickup is limited because the trash man can't get to the cans because there's too many cars in the way for them to get to the trash cans. However, we decided to get to this petition on the recommendation of the Elk Grove City Police Department because a number of us have suffered property damage. Specifically, we've had 2 car accidents that have resulted on our street with one resulting in severe injuries. My car suffered a hit and run. It was captured on camera. I called the Elk Grove Police Department to file a complaint, and they were able to find the person, went to the school. However, I asked them, what should we do when they saw that our street was a parking lot? They recommended that this is a solution that the city has created and that we should pursue that. And that's why we've opted to do that. In addition to that, as you can look to the Elk Grove Police Department reports, our community is having to file many reports. There's now confrontation between the neighbors and the individuals that park there. It's not just students, it's also adults that work at the school that park on our street. For example, one of our elderly neighbors confronted somebody parking near their house, and they tried to poison their dog. And I think if this continues, that there will be more and more burden and undue burden on the city and the police department itself. So I understand that parking is a concern. There are long-term solutions. However, we as a neighborhood want a short-term solution, and it needs to be enacted sooner than later, because again, we have small children. When people come in the morning, when our kids walk to school, they also are at risk of getting hit by cars, and especially cars that are traveling at a very high speeds. Again, I thank everybody for their time, and I hope that you look at this in our favor and the neighborhood and the constituency that lives there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Judge. Next up is Michael Manaski for item 7.17.
And Mr. Manaski had submitted comments, which was distributed to the city council and staff, and it included an image, which he requested to be projected up onto our systems as he provides his comments. And I have that available to pull up.
All right, let's pull it.
Oh, good. Got it? Okay. Is this something that the folks at home can see?
Once I press enough buttons, we'll get it up on the screen.
I'll begin my remarks, and then once you get it up there, oh, there it is, okay. Hi, I'm here to talk about speed and size and form of transportation. The Public Works engineer recently completed this study, which is item 717 before you today, and reported that most all the public roads analyzed have traffic exceeding the posted maximum speed limits. Table 1 on page 2 shows 13 street segments reviewed by the traffic engineer. Perhaps it is the fact that state law requires setting vehicular speed limits based upon the 85th percentile of speeds actually encountered on the roads, which puts into motion increasingly tolerated speed limits. Maybe it is the mindset possessed by impatient drivers that these speed limits are minimums and not maximums. I appreciate the traffic engineer's reluctance to increase speed limits based upon anticipated pedestrian usage, and that's reported. That's part of the report. But there are fewer people walking and biking who, like myself, fear being hit by a speeding motor vehicle. And on my way over here, I was doing 25 on the Laguna Springs. It's a 30-mile-an-hour limit, and I was bypassed at high speed by an individual who pulled into the police gate lot just at 6 o'clock, or a little before 6. Regarding size, observe the photograph taken comparing a 1980s vintage light pickup truck to what I refer to as a late model stepladder pickup. Note how the front grille of the oversized vehicle exceeds the height of the cab on the light truck. I can only imagine which would prevail in a collision and who would sustain the worst injuries. Perhaps the driver of the giant truck would not even see the small truck if it were immediately in front of the larger truck. Regarding form, pedestrian and human-powered bicycles have a right to the commercial resources, our roads, that are now dominated by automobiles and other motor vehicles. How we ensure that through public policy is by decreasing vehicular speed and the size and fuel consumption of those dominant forms of transportation. I applaud and support the intent of the engineer's report, but I fear that as we visit this issue again, we will continue to witness an obese, vehicular population spinning its wheels ever faster on an overheating planet. And I hope that the council sees the connection between what people were saying about parking and the behavior of people on our roads, speeding. Thank you.
Thank you. And that, Mr. Manaski was our final speaker on consent calendar. So I will go ahead and close the public comment opportunity. Before we begin with maybe some council comments, which I imagine we will have, as do I, can I ask the city manager to provide a little bit of an update on item 7.13?
Yes, I'll ask actually our Public Works Director, our Deputy Public Works Director. They've got probably the most current information, but I did have a conversation today with the superintendent about this, and they acknowledge that parking is limited on their campus. And they're, there's no easy, good solutions right now. I think, what's been presented is the petition from the neighbors, which is a program that we've had in place for a long time. We have other neighborhoods around the city that have done similarly, including Elk Grove High School, the neighborhood that's immediately adjacent, that got that approved years ago because of similar concerns. So this is the solution that we have right now that's available to address the immediate concerns. There are some areas around there that, as we communicate with, and the school district specifically communicates with parents and students to advise where parking may be available. I know there's a park and there's a creek. There's some areas over there that don't have immediate residential neighborhoods adjacent that the students could be certainly be allowed to park in those areas. But hopefully there is also some interim parking solutions that the school districts are looking at. If they can increase some parking spaces available on their campus, then they're going to look to see what they might be able to do. They have increased some parking, it sounds like, in their ag area, 20 to 30 spots in the last year. That's helped a little bit, but I think they recognize there's a need for additional spaces. Long term, when the new high school opens up in Rancho Cordova, that will take students that are currently going to Pleasant Grove over there, so that'll relieve the overcrowding that's existing right there. That'll reduce the number of students, that'll reduce the number of required parking spaces, but that solution is still years away. And so this is a solution that's available now for the city council to implement to address the concerns put forth by the neighbors. Jeff or Chris, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Those are excellent remarks. I do not have anything to add.
Yeah, I was
That
really
summarizes it
mostly
well.
interested in,
Well,
your
add
meeting
that
you had with the superintendent today.
The chief just leaned over and said that they will add this to their operational routine and make sure that they continue to do enforcement, especially for some of the behaviors that are existing beyond just the parking, right? And I think that's some of the concerns that we heard tonight. So I appreciate the chief and his team for continuing to make those efforts.
Thank
The
you.
other thing I'll just add is we are working on a timeline for when this can be implemented. We need to make sure that we're communicating to the school's communicating to parents and teachers about the rules, and there's a kind of a phase-in period where we do some education first, and then before the citations happen. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get all that rolled out. We have got to fabricate the signs and get those installed, but we'll be putting that together over the course of the next week and then communicating that to the appropriate parties.
Excellent.
Mayor,
Okay.
follow-up question.
So yes, I'm going to open it now over to other colleagues who have questions. We'll start with the vice mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So on that note, I do think this is definitely a prudent course of action, but I wanted to follow up with the comment from one of the speakers about if students go to the next neighborhood, have we talked about what happens next?
Yeah, we haven't addressed what happens next, and under the code, they would have to submit a petition if the issues push the other neighborhoods. I imagine the chief having eyes on this situation would help to alleviate some of those concerns. But as the city manager, articulated very well, there's not a really great solution, and I think that ultimately, long-term, more parking is needed or more schools, which are kind of things that the school district is working on.
Okay, I do have some thoughts, but I was wondering, Mayor, if we could add this to our 2x2 when we meet with the school district?
Yeah, the challenge, I mean, we'll definitely add it, but we only meet twice a year. Yeah, and so, things will come up in between, in like this, for example, that we couldn't include it in terms of a previous agenda. And then, of course, you have the transition between the current or the former superintendent to the new. So there's been some gaps in there, but we can certainly have the conversation. I think it's worthy of having, but we also want to be mindful of what the residents following a proper process But some of those outstanding, I think one of the speakers had brought up sort of that preferential treatment or, well, the lottery system, it wasn't preferential treatment, it was the lottery system. But then you have a number of students that are coming in that don't live in the neighborhood that are driving and maybe using those. So I mean, these are challenging questions. When I served on the board, we dealt with similar issues. So I'm very mindful of some of those concerns, but to the extent that we can help in that situation, we really can do what's within our capacity and our authority, and that is to be responsive to our constituents. Where it comes to the school board and school board decisions as it relates to parking and the methods they use to issue those and how they can be more creative to expand that, we certainly welcome that. I think anything that we can do to alleviate any pressures or strains in neighborhoods would be a good thing.
I'll offer, in between the 2x2s, we do have the school site committee meetings that we can, continue to bring these topics up and address. I think that may be something to
Yeah,
consider.
so just a troubleshoot so that, again, for other neighborhoods too.
Since they're receiving students from outside the area, maybe there is a preference for parking for those students. We'll see what the school district is willing and can implement. I will also add in response to your question that when we did the preferential parking zone at Elk Grove High School on Mini Circle, we did not, at least to my knowledge, see an expansion of those issues further into the neighborhood, and nor have we added any additional PPZs adjacent to Elk Grove High School since establishing that area.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. But I think again, the short-term solution I think will be effective is so we have time to plan on a longer-term solution until Rancho Cordova schools opens up. And I totally agree with you, Mayor. We're staying in our lane. I think there's something we can cooperate on, and so I think it could be 6 months from now or whenever we're meeting on that 2x2. But because this solution, I think will be effective for the time being. So that's all I'm asking.
And I think part of, I think our due diligence as a city when it comes to proactively reaching out to the schools, the parents, and not just going into the sort of the enforcement side of things. That educational process is going to be important so that it's a phased-in approach, as I hear it, so that it's not going to be, punitive at the onset. So you see some changed behaviors, and the school recognizes there's issues. This is sort of their domain. I am optimistic that they will step up and rise up and be proactive in finding a solution. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So, no, I want to thank Public Works for working with, working just to try and find some sort of middle ground to help the residents out here, because the proposal we have right here tonight just focuses on Amber Fields Way and the courts that are in between. So we do the permit-only parking, but what happens on the other half of Salmon Creek Drive? Because you also have Moon River Way and Boulder River Way, which are longer streets, and that will create another place for students to park. And that's something I've noticed over there for quite some time, several years. But I'm hoping that the school district hears what the neighbors in this neighborhood are talking about, because the students can walk across Bond Road, but Bond Road being pretty busy in the mornings, plus you have students being dropped off at Albione Middle School. That creates a little bit of that's creating a big issue right there in itself. And so one of the only real solutions is for Rancho Cordova is to have a high school built out there, which would relieve a lot of that pressure. But that's years away. And we have to look at how we're going to mitigate this situation now, because once we put in the permit parking only here in this specific neighborhood, then we're gonna have to look at the other half of Salmon Creek, because the homeowners there are not going to want to have the students parking there or the teachers parking there. And so it's definitely a dilemma and an opportunity for Elk Grove Unified School District to look at the possibility of looking for other ways for parking, but even that creates an impact, because if you're going to do a multi-level structure, then you're going to displace a lot of students, and then the neighborhood's going to completely be impacted. and not in a good way. And so I really am thankful that that you have done the study and looking at all sorts of alternatives and angles on this, Mr. Werner, because this is not a new dilemma. A lot of neighbors have been talking about this for about 5, 6, 7 years. And this is something that we can do now as a short-term fix. But looking at the longer term, I'm hoping that that the school district talks to the city and figures out some sort of way, along with the homeowners in this neighborhood, to figure out how we can make this a little bit more better, and also look at that lottery system to see how we can have parking for those students who are driving in from outside of Elk Grove that do go to Pleasant Grove High School. Because with Wilton, with Rancho Cordova, with the parts of unincorporated Sacramento that come here, Pleasant Grove High School is a large school, but when you have this number of cars coming in, not just for the high school, but for the middle school, it's creating a perfect storm of a lot of issues that are unforeseen down the road.
Thank you. Looking to the right, any questions? Councilmember Spies?
I do. I actually, before I moved to where I live now, I used to live off of Stonebrook, and obviously the problem wasn't as bad then as it appears to be now. But I want to make sure to thank the residents and their patience. It is a challenge even back then, with all of the traffic and young drivers in the neighborhood. That was a challenge. I want to thank PD as well, right? Thank you for being responsive, right? Because they're here and they're explaining their situation, and they're going, "Hey, PD was responsive to us," and some folks just come in here and blast away and have complaints, but I really acknowledge, or I really appreciate that you worked with them. So I'm certainly gonna support this, but I do want to express a little bit of frustration. The school districts, or excuse me, these mega schools were originally created with roads and parking with bus infrastructure. That was the intended method for getting kids to school. When they made the decision to reduce the amount of buses, and I'm not gonna, that's fine and dandy, whatever, right? It created an impact on our streets that we are now dealing with. We have to deal with it. There is bad traffic. There are people who almost get hit daily because there are residents who are not being patient, right? And this is yet another instance where I feel as though they haven't communicated that with us. I'm asking that, look, we have this really cool modern thing. It's called a phone. Give us a call. Tell us that there's going to be a change to the parking. Give us something so that we can get ahead of it. I just feel like we've been, having to play, tail end Charlie on this stuff, and I really wish the communication that they would provide to us is better. Thank you.
Councilmember Robles?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think a lot of the comments have been said already. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you to the residents that have shown up. We want to be responsive, obviously, to your needs. That is our responsibility. Thank you, PD and Public Works. And I understand the frustration, what this looks like, and I understand the challenges, ma'am. You have children that live in Wilton that come to school. These are challenging times, and I'm hopeful that the school district will help navigate these challenges. And as I will also say, as sort of incoming chair of SAC-RT, that this is also an opportunity to remind where it's possible. It's free public transportation. Kids ride free. Carpooling, kids just changing some behaviors. Carpooling is an excellent tool, but so is using public transportation. It is free for our students. And maybe it's also other additional conversations at where the bus routes are possible and where they work and make sense. Let's use them. It's going to take all of us to address these concerns. Otherwise, we're just going to have a lot of angry people out there. So let's all be a part of the solution. Thank you all for your time on this. So with that, if I don't see any other further questions, I will look for a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, next item, item 8.1.
Madam Mayor, can we be clear? That was a motion to approve the entire consent agenda. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Good evening, Sarah Kirschgessner, Planning Division. The project before you tonight is the Sheldon Meadows Map and Rezone. The project is a rezone from AR5 to AR2, a tentative subdivision map, subdivision design review, as well as a determination of consistency with the general plan for the abandonment of a SMUD easement. The project site is located on the west side of Bradshaw Road, just north of Sheldon Road. The St. Maria Goretti Catholic Church borders the site to the south, and it is surrounded by rural residential land uses to the east, west, and north. The Planning Commission reviewed the project at the November 20th Planning Commission meeting and voted 5-0 to recommend City Council approval of the project. The project proposes a rezone from AR5 to AR2, which is consistent with the general plan land use designation of rural residential, and it is also consistent with general plan policies. The proposed map would subdivide the property into 7 single-unit residential parcels, all at least 2 acres in size. The project is consistent with the city's development standards for minimum lot sizes, lot width, and lot depth, and all parcels will have access off Bradshaw Road through a 22-foot wide gated private road. The project proposes to construct a detention basin that will span the southern portion of lots 1 through 6. Individual property owners will maintain the portion of the detention basin that is within their property. Lot 7 will drain to the existing drainage ditch along Bradshaw Road. There is an existing 10-foot SMUD easement and power pole located within the future ultimate right-of-way for Bradshaw Road as designated in the general plan. The project includes a condition of approval to relocate the pole and vacate that easement. The pole would be relocated within the new 12.5-foot public utility easement that would be dedicated with the project's final map. The proposed abandonment is consistent with general plan policies. No further environmental review is required. The project is consistent with CEQA guidelines section 15183 and the general plan EIRs. Staff recommends that the City Council adopt an ordinance approving the rezone and approving the tentative subdivision map, subdivision design review, and determination of consistency with the general plan. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions, and the applicant team is also available for any questions that you have.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I will declare that the public hearing is now open. Would the applicant like to speak? It's not required, but if you would like to speak, now is your opportunity.
Thank you.
Yes, please come to the dais, or not to the podium.
Thank you, council members and mayor. It's a group of friends which we want to build a house, and then we are coming together and then building these houses. We like the residential. We are the part of the Elk Grove from last 20 years. That's the motive behind this. Thank you. Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Thank you. At this time, I will open up public comment opportunity. I have one person signed up to speak, and I apologize if I butcher the name. Min Jiang Lin?
Yeah.
Did I say it correctly?
Yeah, Min Xiang Liu.
Oh, okay, not bad.
Thank you. So I am a neighbor of this developed plan. So we are shared the west side of the drain system, and I'm on downstream. So first of all, I congratulate to those developers. I know they worked so hard to reach this point. And also I thank you for the city project manager, and she sent all the information I need, to address my concerns. And I reviewed all the plan. So only thing I see one thing is missing is for the drain system. I see the good report on the south, north, and the Bradshaw side. I didn't see any report on the west side, which is shared with my property. So I come here, all I need is see, I trust the engineer, okay, they did all the theirs, but I just want to verify. So I'd like to get a report on, relate to my property. That's all I ask for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. That is our final public comment. Did you want to respond, Sarah?
Yes, the project did submit a drainage report for the project site, which was reviewed and analyzed by our staff. The project is proposing a detention basin for lots 1 through 6, as well as lot 7 will continue to drain to Bradshaw Road. The project was determined that it is consistent with general plan policies for drainage, and it would not have any upstream or downstream impacts.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll go ahead and close public comment officially. Does the applicant want to provide any additional comments? You don't have to. Okay. I will go ahead and declare that the public hearing is now closed and open it up for council discussions. Direction, I'll look to the left. Anything?
So if I'm not mistaken, based on the drainage that runs into the culverts that will make up the irrigation, I think my question is the question that Mr. Lund had asked. Will there be any consideration of drainage that makes sure that any sort of water does not back up into his property? Or is that going to be or has that been addressed as part of the conditions of approval for the existing runoff of the water? Because obviously a lot of the runoff eventually makes its way to Laguna Creek, but is through the various networks that have been established. Is that the case for this specific development?
Yeah, so if I could, Councilmember. So the way the drainage plan is designed for this site, lots 1 through 6, which are the new lots, lot 7 being where the existing home is, those 6 lots will continue to drain towards the west. The existing drainage pattern for the site already does that. The natural grades flow that direction. What will happen is there'll be a natural ridge line that gets created where the home sites themselves will be. So what become the front yards will flow north to the private street, where there'll be a ditch along there that will then convey the water towards the west. Similarly, at the back of the lots, there'll be a linear detention basin that's constructed that will collect the water from the individual lots and then have capacity to hold that water during storm events. Those two facilities connect together along the western property boundary and eventually discharge into the existing ditch that runs north from the property, up a lot, I believe, around the commenter's property. It runs around and then continues westward towards Laguna Creek. The way the plan's been designed is that detention facility, that's the linear detention facility at the back of those lots, creates that storage capacity for the increased runoff from the development of the project.
Thank you. That's helpful to note. And also, because these are staying within the boundaries and the guidelines of the rural community, say someone has a home on the 2-acre lots and you want to do an extra in-law quarter or unit on that property, will those units also have to contain their own sewer, water through private wells, and propane tanks also?
Yes, any new structures that required well water or septic would be required to get those permits from the Sacramento County.
Perfect. And the reason why I ask is because want to make sure that as these homes are being built, we don't want to have a scenario where we build something on the property and through some way or another, there would be a misunderstanding or misinterpretation, and we're having to seek forgiveness instead of permission. And that was the reason why I asked that. But other than that, but based on everything I've seen and everything that's coming through the pipeline, looking at the conditions of approval, I'm comfortable with supporting this item and willing to move it when the time is appropriate.
You may move it now if you like. It's motions 1 and 2. Any other questions? Anyone? Okay, go ahead. Vice
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so I'll second that motion, but I just, as a follow-up, I understood, Christopher, what you were saying. Would you please just follow up with Mr. Lynn? I heard him say he didn't see it on the plans, but you could just show him. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for addressing the concerns. So we have a motion on motions 1 and 2, and a second. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Next item, we do not have any regular action items on the regular agenda. So that takes us to item 10, council comments, reports, future agenda items. Does anyone have a report? I don't think there's been any meetings, has there?
We have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yesterday, the Sacramento Public Library Committee for Budget Audits met yesterday just to make sure that the books were clean and that everything's staying on the up and up in which they are.
Excellent. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Councilmember Robles and I had our sewer district meeting today. There's an ad hoc committee to speak with property owners in the South County because of the Harvest Water Project. So there's a lot of concerns there about that project. So hopefully folks can be aware that we, members of the city, are part of that ad hoc committee. And then tomorrow we have SACOG. Thank you.
Excellent. Seeing none. Yeah, go ahead.
Madam Mayor, thank you. Just recently came back from our retreat with the board of the Latino League of Cities. I am the new fundraising chair for that, which is a big opportunity. The Latino Caucus is one of the biggest caucus in the state of California. So looking forward to, one, advocating the needs of Elk Grove onto that, but also being a good partner with the League of Cities. In addition to that, I know Jason spoke regarding MLK breakfast. Councilman Brewer, thank you for leading the charge on that and for being an advocate for that. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. I do not have a report for any existing committees right now, but looking forward to seeing all of you, hopefully, either at the breakfast or at the march. And I would like to adjourn this evening in the memory of Ty Lenahan, who passed away 4 years ago. Next Wednesday, January 21st, 2022 is the date, and he is gone but not forgotten. He leaves a big mark in our police department, and we think of him and his family during these times, and our police department, who still hold him near and dear to their heart. So with that, rest in peace, sir. Thank you. Good night.